glass shape, but you see that? It makes everything else pop out.
I want to go get my butt reducted. My butt is too big. My butt is the reason I can't make it. Somebody said, anybody who say I don't have a big butt, I think something wrong with you.
Keep on harassing me on the internet, doing what y'all do. You know, she can keep posting her bikini pictures, keep liking them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is women's boxing. I'm not jealous. My butt's bigger than yours. I'm not jealous of you.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to your live boxing ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to your live. You got to do interviews with like Big Tigger and Melissa Ford, and you did some girl had an interview. I don't even know who she was, right? And they're not doing any views, right? I just showed you brand new interview, exclusive, less than 200 views. And there's other YouTubers that are speaking about your bad behavior, definitely including me, but not limited to, and they're getting amazing viewership by talking about what you're doing wrong. And you've targeted these YouTubers, right? You've made enemies with these people. You call them the ops, right? But this is what you're reduced to, right? Doing interviews that not many people have seen. And that's one angle. Burning bridges, which you'll hear more of in another fashion in this video. The other thing is, outside of the burning the bridges aspect, is that I told you that's why she won't interview with me. She won't do it. I will cook. I will cook her, and I edit. I'm great on camera. I got the golden voice, right? I'm witty, I'm smart. Like she wouldn't. It's just no way. Because unlike Cam Newton, all these other interviews you want to do, I would call out certain things. And then if you tried to refute it, I have files on my computer that have the evidence. Like when you were texting PAPOOSE and you're like, you're the one that's married. This right here. You take accountability. You see how easy I just brought that up? And that wasn't planned, by the way. I just literally see the folder, right? So Claressa, she not doing no interview with me, right? She gonna do interviews with and get 200 views and whatnot, where it's softball questions, walking on eggshells. The other major problem with that is she does these podcasts, the ones that she will do, right? The questions are now getting harder. But when people bring up that your personal relationship, your life outside of the ring, your antics, theatrics, what you're putting on social media is starting to overshadow your whole boxing career, she gets mad. She'll be like, no, pause. That's where I got to stop you. I'm the GOAT. Undefeated, favor. Like she goes in this whole little like defensive spiel, but what you're saying is not true. You see, this is talking about your fight and you're getting 200 views, right? This interview from the title, and I didn't watch it, but I looked at the AI summary of it, and it didn't sound like any type of questions from the AI synopsis that was like, oh, what about you're with a married man? Nothing like that. It didn't show anything like that. So again, you're trying to deny it, but when people focus on your boxing career, that's the type of viewership you get. So I'm of the belief people don't really care about your fights. You guys will see. People supported you because you're a black woman, you're a good fighter, and we wanted to. But now some people are jumping off the ship because you're going overboard. You're being distasteful. You're body shaming people. You're with a married man, and a lot of people have an opinion on that, right? You're being nasty. You're being hateful. Again, deep down, I think Claressa knows this. If people were to focus on your actual career, that's the type of viewership you're going to get. Unless you did something with boxer ego, because, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. I'm going to get my numbers regardless. And it's been that way for a decade and a half at least, right? So that's the reality of it. You get mad like, oh, no. It doesn't overshadow nothing. But when they don't focus on the drama, when they don't focus on what the remainder of this video is going to be about, you're not really generating any viewership. And you running around talking about you're the algorithm and people need you for clicks. Your views are down, and they are down bad, right? And then again, from my perspective, the only people who really are getting views from you are condemning your behavior. I haven't seen anyone who's just like, oh, quote this, and the K. Scott fight is an amazing fight that is getting good viewership. I haven't seen any interview where they don't bring up Remy or PAPOOSE or Bumgardner and focus more so on your actual career, your actual fight. The only time you go and pop is when you're being ghetto gremlin, hot Cheetos, and you yelling at people, or you say something extremely stupid and people are laughing at the stupidity and the absurdity of what you've said. So I'm telling you, man, when you're putting all your eggs in one basket for a papoose. We'll see how this is going to play out for you, but I've seen this movie before. I don't believe you should put all your eggs in any one basket. You should always diversify. You seem all in on this papoose stuff. Again, we'll see how it plays out. Now, moving on, because Claressa Shields said something, and it's troubled me since she said it.
Unforgivable.
And I feel like I have to expand my thought process even further because I didn't like it. Play the clip.
I did this to her. It's nothing like that. I think the fans and people try to create these narratives, and people see stuff and they hear stuff. And like the beginning was really an issue because it was like, be honest and be truthful. Don't paint me out to be something that I'm not. I'm not a woman who chase nobody else's man. I'm not a woman who even like men that got women.
Again, I just showed a screenshot you communicating with Papoose, and you're like, you're the one that's married. You were begging for flowers, begging for gifts, begging for him to stay on the phone with you. Remy already leaked this. Why are you approaching it and lying?
It's like, if you got a woman who you're in a relationship with and you trying to talk to me, I will hold you.
So again, she's trying to paint this narrative that the Homewrecker narrative is completely false. And if a man has a woman, then she's going to ignore them. But your sister Bree already did a video on live on social media and said, who cares that she date married men too and y'all don't care. She literally, you can find this online. Like, I'm not making nothing up. I don't never have to lie on this girl. And that's what I encourage everybody to tell the truth, the real truth. Her situation is so bizarre, I don't have to ad lib. She says the dumbest things. I don't have to ad lib or paraphrase in a way where my interpretation's wrong. I can use her words verbatim and you can see how dumb it is, and we could get plenty of views like that. So in an effort to not look like a side chick, to me, you look more and more like a side chick, and she makes it so easy. I think one of the hardest things with these videos is how to cook the goat meat. That becomes hard for me because it's like lie after lie, and I'm like, hey, you said this here, yeah. So it's just a matter of me putting everything together and seeing what is the plan of attack and strategy that I want to talk about in that given video. But this right here, like, oh man, stop calling me a mistress. No.
So what was your non-negotiable with Pat going into this relationship?
I know the little living situation.
I know that, see how she tried to minimize it. I know the little living situation. I think it's a little bit more than a little living situation when a man has been married to a woman for 20 years, has a kid, lives in the house with her. So right then and there, she's trying to like vindicate herself. But to me, she's incriminating herself more. Oh, yeah, I know about the little living situation they had. How is that little, right?
We on the phone all day, and I know the little living situation. We on the phone all day, and we go to sleep tonight we go to sleep on the phone every night.
It's not registering. Something's wrong. She sounds like a full-on 8th grader, right? We fall asleep on the phone, and we on the phone all day, and we talk every night. Like, that's your non-negotiables, man. Again, you are not going to insult my intelligence. The moment you try to do that, I gotta burn you, right? She just said, and I've already been on record many, many times saying this. While you're sitting up here mad at the black woman, Miss Shanika, Ms. Hawkins, right? I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, Miss Hawkins, right? You mad at Miss Shanika off of one question. That's where it started. This Cam Newton interview did you bad. And you ain't had no smoke for him. So let's break down. I know some people probably didn't catch it. So I'm going to play it again.
So what was your non-negotiable with Pat going into this relationship?
I know the little living situation. We on the phone all day, and we go to sleep tonight we go to sleep on the phone every night. That's my non-negotiable.
8th grade brain. What were your non-negotiables? So what does non-negotiable mean? Like, this is our tenet. We don't break this. This is what happens, right? These are this is our rule set. She said, we are on the phone all day, right? And we talk all day on the phone, and we fall asleep on the phone. Again, she said to Cam Newton, in a lie, her non-negotiables were what? That every night we're on the phone. Listen, I'll let you hear it again. There's no shame in doing that.
I know.
Negotiable.
Well, like, I will hoe you, like.
So what was your non-negotiable with Pat going into this relationship?
I know the little living situation. We on the phone all day, and we go to sleep tonight we go to sleep on the phone every night. That's my non-negotiable. Did that for 6 months. 6 months straight. And then that's when the infamous phone call and all that stuff happened.
So this girl is so slow that not only did she incriminate herself, she continued by saying, we did that for 6 months straight, which all obviously messes up her timeline of meeting at the Shakur fight, which I discussed in my last video. Go check that out. But she gave a time frame. She said, my non-negotiables was basically all day, every day we're on the phone or whatever the case is, right? And we fall asleep on the phone. Non-negotiable. And we did it for 6 months before Remy exposed us. So when Remy exposed you, tell me why I have a tweet and it says, you take accountability. You're the one who is married. If you can't at least sleep on the phone with me or be with me in person, it shouldn't be a big deal to let me know you made it home safe or to communicate you fell asleep in the Sprinter. Is this girl serious? And the funny thing is, when the Cam Newton interview first took place, I waited. I thought at this point, day one, but I waited to see if any other content creator would address that glaring mistake from Claressa Shields. Days later, after the Cam Newton, I haven't personally heard anybody make this point, right? So now, if content creators with their low budget setups want to steal, you know where it came from, right? Make it make sense. You just said you're non-negotiable, right? And I love linguistics, right? I love the English language, right? So I know very well what that means. Non-negotiable is something that cannot be changed, discussed, or bargained away. It is a firm rule, requirement, or condition with zero room for compromise. So again, let's put it all together. If you answered and you weren't lying to Cam Newton, you said you had a firm rule, aka a non-negotiable. Why do I have tweets or text messages from Remy Ma where you literally just said, if you can't at least sleep on the phone with me, it shouldn't be a big deal. So you were having communication issues from jump, which shows me you're not too intelligent. You had communication issues from the beginning, but you're claiming it was a non-negotiable. Here's another one. Claressa says, Pap, since when you let both of your phones die and don't call me? Get up. This is too easy, man. Y'all let me get paid the big bucks, bro, off of the easy work. She's literally in these text messages leaked by Remy. This is why it hurts so much, because now everybody knows what really happened and we weren't privy to this. Shout out to Rem. Rem, right? Big New York. It says, Pap, since when you let both of your phones die and don't call me? Get up. She begging him to get up like John Witherspoon in Friday. Craig, get up, Craig. Get up, Craig. Live, son. Live to fight another day, right? All this gray is Claressa Shields. I know you hate the internet games, but you need to do something today about this girl, blah, blah, blah. You got your other phone yet? Right? But mainly the part at the top where she says, when do you let both of your phones die and don't call me? Right? But you just told the man Cam Newton that a non-negotiable, a hard and fast rule is that you talk every day, all day, every day, and fall asleep on the phone. But you were complaining that he fell asleep in the Sprinter and he has two phones and they both died. Oh my God. This what happens when you lie, people. A person like me, ego gonna chop that right up. Benihana's. I'm going to cook it right in front of you. What are you talking about? How is it a non-negotiable when clearly there was a negotiation? He gave you an excuse. Oh, man, you don't know I had a company party. Did you know that? I have the text messages. I just showed you some of them, right? So how is it a firm rule that's non-negotiable and he broke it per your own text that got leaked? Make that make sense. So this girl's a dingbat. I try to tell you, the more people that side with her, I love it. Go against me to side with her, and I'll see you on the other side. We gonna see. Because the more you guys don't keep it real with her, the more you try to, oh man, come on, brother. Oh, she a black woman and do all this other stuff because she's tripping. You're going to go down with the ship. I can assure you that, because you're going to look dumb. That's why in life, I've learned not to stick my neck on the line when people don't deserve it. Now, if you a real one and you got integrity to you, you're a good person, I'll go to the ends of the earth for you. I'll ride till the wheels fall off, but you got to work with me. You got to give me something to be a martyr for and fight for. You can't be nasty to people, distasteful, cursing people out, treat people bad, evil and mean-spirited, let your great granny childhood home go up for foreclosure, power play people because you have more money than them, shame people, bring up people getting graped and, different things like that, their traumas, and you just on live talking about their business in that way. You said Maserati Bud is giving grapist. Why would you put that on that man? Then you said, oh, Maserati Bud, he was just this weirdo following me like a creepy weirdo. I ain't know him. I don't even know who he is. Like he just some random like Mark David Chapman or whatever. That's the guy that with John Lennon. I can't say it. I don't want to say it, but just look up Mark David Chapman and the Beatles, John Lennon. Right? You're making it sound like he's just like this deranged lunatic, or the dude that at Ronald Reagan. That was the one who was obsessed with Jodie Foster. See, I know my American history, man. So, anywho, Claressa looked bad. You said your non-negotiables were that you stay on the phone all day, every day. Such a juvenile 8th grade response in general. In addition, I just proved you wrong because you were complaining about lack of, you could have let me know you fell asleep in the Sprinter. You could have let me know you made it home safe and all this. And since when you let both of your phones die? So you in another state or another region, he doing God knows what, right? Living in Remy's house, and you couldn't see the play from the beginning. And now you keep trying to defend it. And the more you talk, the more I'm going to chop you up. I got to slice you. You know what I mean? And you make it easy. You really do. Because you talk too much. You said we did that for 6 months straight. So had you not added the 6 months, then you could have been like, oh, okay, communication was foggy at the beginning, but we got it together. But you talk so much that I've already blocked all the exits. There's nowhere to go. So I was waiting to see if anybody brought that point up. I ain't hear nobody brought it up. So boom, ego gonna bring that up. You did not have a non-negotiable because those text messages contradict that. So all this stuff you're saying, you continue to look bad. And then you're like trying to justify that you weren't a homewrecker.
When the infamous phone call and all that stuff happened. Mm-hmm. But other than that, he's never given me no reason to not trust him or to not believe him. And
he never gave me, this girl is naive and super gullible. He never gave me a reason not to trust his word and not to believe him. But you're literally in a different state saying, hey, so when you let both of your phones die and you don't call me, oh my gosh, like what woman would be in a like long distance, basically. This guy's living with his wife, right? He's telling you whatever he's telling you. And then magically both of his phones die. Magically he falls asleep in the Sprinter and forgets to call you. Bro, these sound like 18-year-old excuses for creeping on your missus. And you're like, oh, I don't have no reason not to trust him. What about the 2 dead phones? Right? And not knowing what he's doing. It's not like you weren't in a proximity where you could just drive by his house to see if his car was there. You're where you're at. And he's in another region. And he's living with his wife. So, furthermore, another reason why that was such a juvenile answer, my non-negotiable, we on the phone every day, all day, with her New York accent out of nowhere. We on the phone every day, all day, and we fall asleep on the phone. That's your non-negotiables for a married man. First of all, outside of me exposing you like I just did with the text messages, it's impossible to stay on the phone all day, every day for 24 hours a day. Like, even the fact that you said that shows me your intelligence ain't where it needs to be. Because people who said Papoose is bummy, that proves it. Sleeping on his wife's couch, and he got time to live with his wife on his wife's couch, but talk to you round the clock, all day, every day, and just be on the phone. Like, a man should be a rock. A man should live for his purpose, right? I'm not saying he can't include family in that, but there should be other purposes that he's pushing towards, like as a man. So what man can just be on the phone getting his ear hot and just stay on the phone all day? Not like, oh, because I mean, everyone's done it. I've done it where like talk to a girl on the phone for 4 or 5 hours, but this ain't high school. I can't do that every day. There's no, man, you better ask around. You better ask around. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a content creator. The females that get involved with me, they know off rip what I do won't even allow me to talk to you on the phone like that. I'll see you when I see you. You know what I mean? And if you can't get with that, then see ya. Wouldn't want to be. I do 4 or 5 hour streams at times. How am I going to do that? It's 24 hours in a day, right? Like, if I did a 4 or 5 hour stream, I'm down to 20, 19 hours, right? Then you got to sleep 8 hours. Like, you know what I mean? You got to eat, you got to poop, you got to do other things. Like, I don't have time to stream for 4 or 5 hours and then be on the phone all day. My voice would be so gone and like rawed out. Like, it'd be like, come on, what are we talking about? So it proves that Papoose, like, no matter how you slice it, you still look bad. Even if he did, I don't think it's possible that he could, you could have tabs on him all day, every day. And the text messages show that, right? Because you didn't have tabs on him. You're like, where were you? Or why couldn't you could at least, if you can't fall asleep with me, at least do this? And why you don't call me on either phone? Like, so that already proves that you're lying. But hypothetically speaking, right? If we're just going to overlook that, whatever, right? Overlook it. Then even if he was on the phone with you that long, it proves he ain't got nothing going for himself prior to signing you up with Win Records. A man that just sitting on his wife's couch that he don't want to be with. He filed for a divorce because of me. He wanted a divorce because of me, right? This is what she bragging about. So he wants out of the relationship, out of the marriage with Remy, according to you, but he's sleeping on her couch after he knows she cheated, according to you. You said she had 2 boyfriends. I don't know who this other boyfriend's supposed to be, right? But even if we're talking about Easy to Block Captain, you're like, that's what y'all don't bring up. Talk about her. She had a man. She had someone that she was big about, blah, blah, blah. And again, you're being fed this. You blocked Remy. You and Remy don't talk. So you're getting all your information from one person, right? You already admitted you have no connection to his kids like that, except for maybe the one with the makeup, but definitely not the golden child. So you have no access to Remy Ma at this point. So how do you know what he's telling you is how it actually happened? Haven't you seen people in different scenarios and they'll give their explainer and their version of events that caters to them and makes them look like the hero? Man, Remy was cheating and she was bad, and one time she hit me, like, and they're not telling what they did. This girl is obtuse, man. She obtuse. Talking about her non-negotiables, stay on the phone all day. And even with that, it's impossible to be on the phone. So he don't have to pump gas. He don't have to rap in his car. He don't have to go to the store. He don't take care of his kids. Like, he just got time to just round the clock be on the phone with you. Impossible, right? And even if you, again, said it was possible, that means he a bum. He just have time. That's like a dude got all day, every day, Monday through Sunday to play video games. Just a bummy dude, unless you're making money from it, and that's a very small percentage of people making top dollar by video gaming all day, every day, right? I know a lot of people that wanted to, and they never achieved that and had to work other jobs. But anywho, so this whole interview made her look crazy. There's no other nicer way to put it. No nice way to put it. And here's the thing. You're like, oh, we're on the phone all day, every day. Like, that proves something. Like, a man can't call you, tap in with you, talk for any length of time, and then as soon as he hangs up, he could do whatever he want. You can't keep, how are you keeping tabs on a man in another state? It's impossible. And I know it's doable because I had a homie that did it, right? He had the girl and we'd be at the club and he'd be macking on the honeys right there with us. And then his girl, he had to check in. His girl, that's what they called it. His girl would make him check in. Like, oh, if you go into the club with the homies, and then he would like step outside after drinking, step outside, compose himself, and then talk regular for a minute, sober up real quick, and be like, hey, babe, yeah, the club's all right. And, men going to downplay it. You downplay it like, yeah, the DJ kind of whacked. They're not playing no good song. They're not playing Usher. They're not playing Chris Brown and 50 Cent. So it's all right. Yeah, I'll be home around the regular time. Yeah, they, Ego and them, they want to stay. Yeah. They want to stay longer. Man, I want to be at home with you. I really want to be with you. Really want to, right? And then he gonna pillow talk her ear and soothe it over. All right, love you, babe. Love you. Click, click. And then right after that, he back in the club with back on the honeys, and they popping it. Like, so this girl, something wrong with her. You think a man can't like calm you down and tell you what you want to hear, sell you a dream on the phone when you're not in like within reach. Like, if you lived like next to him or something, that might be harder, because if he say he at home sleep, then you could drive by the house or something. But we know your situation is long distance. This girl be lying. Even on this interview, she was like, Cam was asking questions and they were like silent. They were like, it was like he put the silencer on. She wasn't smart enough to pick up where he was going or his body language when he was making the faces. So she was comfortable. She was comfortable in that chair, and he lined her up. He said, what's the living situation? The way he did it was slick because he didn't telegraph it, right? He didn't make it sound like he was snooping or inquiring or trying to catch her up. He was just very conversational, and that caused her to drop the guard. Like, he would be like, man, you're a talented fighter. You make a lot of money. You got a brand new deal, famous boyfriend. Can I ask you a personal question? Was he married? And then it catches you off guard because he just buttered you up and then went somewhere else. Is he married? Like, that's how the guard was down. That's why this is probably the worst interview she's done, in my opinion, because it was long and he let her talk and he didn't telegraph and make it look like it was very even Steven. Like, he didn't look like I'm trying to entrap you, even if some of the questions were entrapping, right? Like, kind of like an undercover cop. The whole goal of an undercover cop to make it look like you one of the dealers until you bust them. You know what I mean? And he kind of almost went undercover with it. And he was like, what's the living situation? Does he stay with you? And she was like, it's about 50-50. I stay with him for weeks. He loved me so much, so he stayed with me for weeks, and he coming right now. She's so insecure. She got to keep telling you he's coming, and he's in the other room. He's coming. He upstairs. She always got to tell you where he's at. That's how I know you a side chick, because you have to do too much to prove and justify his love. Oh, yeah. We don't live together, but it'd be 50-50. He'd be at my spot, I'd be at his spot. He coming right now, right after this interview. You got to do too much. You look bad. And how he 50-50, half at his house, half at yours, right? But we never see you at his house. Wouldn't you be vlogging and filming videos? Because when he was talking about the Knicks, it looked like he was in the closet. It looked like he was at his mama crib or something, right? So how come we don't never see you do a tour of his house daily and keep going back to it since you at his house 50% of the time? When is that 50%? Right? That's why I'm saying I don't believe nothing she be saying. You said you are at his house half the time throughout the year. 365 days in a year, so that's roughly about 182. So 182 days you're at your place, 182 days you're at his spot. But there's no social media posts that I've seen that even look like she was at his house, except for like maybe a birthday, and I don't even know whose house that was. But definitely nothing recently. But she's like, yeah, half my house, half it. I don't believe nothing she be talking about. But let's move the conversation to the part that rubbed me the wrong way. Let's pay attention to this part where this got me tight. Listen.
It was in theaters for 3 months.
Like, she talking about her movie. The man asked you, there's a narrative out there that you broke up a happy home. You're a homewrecker, basically. Why are you talking about your movie? What bearing does that have on that question? Are you a homewrecker? Oh, I had a movie coming out Christmas Day. What?
I'm not about to try to explain to nobody that what she did before I even met him and how she was with this dude and all this stuff. Trying to defend me and him being together when me and him know the truth. Mm-hmm. And those who really are stand-up people accept the truth and know it. Yeah. It's a timeline between their stuff. Why you think he knocked Buddy out? That was back in 2021, 2022. I ain't know Pap. I met him 2024, July 6th to be exact. So it wasn't a happy home to break up.
Boom. Boom. You never know. That part, I was driving and I'm thinking, like, that's where I do a lot of my thinking, in the shower, pause, or when I'm driving. And I just kept thinking and replaying that part. There was no happy home to break up.
6 to be exact. So it wasn't a happy home to break up.
That part rubbed me the wrong way because, first of all, based on one person's interpretation, how do you know that it's even true? All you know is whatever he's told you. You have no other source on the issue, right? You block Remy Ma. She not messing with you. So how do you know his versions of events are exactly what it is, right? And she out here so naive, so gullible, and then wondering why people are having their opinions on her relationship. She said he knocked out Buddy, talk about Easy to Block Captain, in 2021, 2022. Why you think he did that? Because she was already with somebody else. But I already showed you in my video, that's why you got to, spoiler alert, go to that Dark Secrets video I did. She's at the Errol Spence Crawford fight, which was summer of 2023, July. So your timelines already don't make sense, right? Then you're like, I didn't even know him till 2024, right? But he still was sleeping in her house on the couch. How do you know they weren't still like trying to piece it up? Fat Joe said that Papoose and Remy, the day before Remy exposed y'all publicly online, they were out to dinner together. That's what Fat Joe said. So how do you know, how are you so confident that what he's telling you is true when it don't look to be, right? Nothing points in that direction because you claim he don't get a cut of your money. He's not your manager. Won't explain how he makes money with Win Records, right? We know it's not from rap sales. He's not moving units like that. I don't even know if he put out a new project, right? But he wasn't, during that phase, he wasn't even really popping out. His clout came from Remy, and they sound like they're at least having marital problems, but maybe working them out. You dig? So how do you know what he's telling you is the unfettered truth, right? You can't really quantify that. That's why she does certain interviews where there's not going to be too much pushback, right? She's like, there was no happy home to break up. Now, this is not from Cam Newton's interview. I want the record to show that. This is not from Cam Newton, but this is from a different podcast a year ago, and this is what Claressa Shields had to say. Pay attention.
It's public relationship, like I said, I don't know how anything ever stemmed to be a problem because she's publicly came out and said that she was with somebody since 2022.
You heard that? Remy, she came out and publicly stated she's been out with somebody since 2022. That's what she just said.
She's publicly came out to be a problem because she's publicly came out and said that she was with somebody since 2022 outside of their union. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, how do I meet somebody in 2024 who you said you ain't even been with, whatever the case may be, and then you start throwing shots at me, making it seem like I'm somebody that came and disrupted a happy household when I didn't? That's not what happened. So, I think that it's a lot of, like I've said before, and I'll say it again, women can be very emotional.
Now she's tripping, so I don't care about the rest. So she's claiming that Remy, I don't even know where she's claiming to have heard that. I never heard her say that, but she said Remy was with someone since 2022. So how am I a homewrecker when I didn't meet him and we didn't start fooling around and going together until 2024? This is her claim to fame. Hey, I ain't do nothing wrong. They had been over since 2022. So in multiple interviews, there's a pattern. She's like, I'm not a mistress. This is not adultery. This is not an affair. They were over, but he was still living there. Your girl down bad. She claimed to Cam Newton, the Easy to Block captain, this is what she said. Don't get mad at me. I'm going off what she said. She said that happened in 2021 or 2022. Then on the other podcast I just let you listen to, she said allegedly Remy had been fooling with somebody else since 2022. So how am I the problem? How am I the homewrecker? Here's how. This is PAPOOSE with his wife at the Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight. If you look up the date or go watch my Dark Secrets video, you really need to watch that and then come back here. These are two different videos. The information is mostly different, right? And it shows the dates and everything. So if Remy had been cheating since 2022, that's what you just said. In multiple interviews, I played it. Why are they at a fight in the summer of 2023 looking like they're having the time of their life? Explain that. This is PAPOOSE. Look. Bro, your girl down bad. Bro. Look, he hanging all on her. Look, he hanging on her. He hanging all on her. You see him? He hanging on his wife. So again, you will never beat the mistress side chick allegations. Timelines don't match. And that's not even me bringing up the Tony Rich angle and Maserati Bud, because that just brings more foolishness to it. In the Dark Secrets video, I also showed posts from PAPOOSE where his wife was on Drew Barrymore's show and he was calling her his beautiful wife in 2023. So you're like, she had been cheating. She had been cheating. How is it that a YouTuber can look at the dates, listen to the story, and be like, hey, something's not adding up? But you're the one where your career's at stake by getting involved with this person, and you couldn't see the story you were being fed. There's holes in it. Swiss cheese. Now, finally, when Remy exposed PAPOOSE, he tried to clap back and he did his own video, right? And we're going to listen to some portions of it.
And we're in the flesh next to each other. I can type in any word from one of her songs and she'll say later, I didn't do that. My word is my bond is my life. I should give my life before my word shall fail. This was her exact words. Him? Why would I deal with him? I said, Rem, I know you're dealing with the lane.
Okay, right then and there. Mind you, this is PAPOOSE after Remy Ma exposed him and Claressa Shields as creeping around and leaked their text messages. This is a live that he did. Notice the guy that his wife allegedly fooled with, Easy the Block Captain, he won't say his name. He keeps referring to the man as the lame, right? Throughout this whole thing, I'm not going to play the whole thing. Throughout the whole thing, he's like, yeah, she started dealing with the lame. And I'm like, it must be some sort of blackmail. So I ask her, I'm like, is this blackmail that the lame got you? Because it's not making sense. She taking money out the house and giving it to the lame. It never affected her. So eventually I started paying the bills because the lame getting all the money, right? He was saying stuff like that. So based on his choice of words, not saying Easy the Block Captain's name, keep calling him a lame. My question for all the psychologists out there, the internet psychologist. Does that sound like a man who's over it? Like a man who don't care what his wife do because he's ready to divorce and move on with Papoose? Why would he keep referring to her dude as a lame? Think about what I'm saying to you. I'm a man, so I know man things and manly things. A man who don't care and is over the relationship, why would he need to refer to her jump off or her hookup as the lame all throughout this video? She giving money to the lame. So I ask her, what's the lame have that I don't have? Like, why do you keep referring to him as a lame if you don't care? And like, I have exes. I don't know what they did or who they slept with or what, like, it's none of my concern now, right? So to me, this looked like emotion, and this is when he's with Claressa at this point, and Remy had exposed him. You still sound aggy about it. That's why you keep calling him a lame.
First and foremost. So once I noticed that she was moving strange, I started to do my research. So the therapist said, because she told the therapist,
look, let me take it back.
For the simple fact that I speak with my actions. You want to talk this money talk, you use all of your money. And I want y'all to know this, because I know a lot of people, I don't want to come across.
You don't even know how to hold the microphone without covering it, but you're a rapper.
I'm upset. But you know what? I am upset. You know why?
He said, you know what? I am upset.
I'm upset because you mentioned my children. You had the audacity to mention my children, and you had the audacity. Can y'all hear me? Because some people complaining about the audio. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Can you hear me now? If you can hear me, let me know. There's a few people saying they can't hear me.
Yeah, because you covered the mic. What the heck?
Let me know if y'all can hear me. I'm not covering the mic. Y'all saying I'm covering the mic. I let it go now. It's good? Brooklyn Jad in here. Jad, can you hear me? Cause you, all right, now, yes.
This man is a rapper, don't know how to hold a mic without covering it. Without covering the grill. Wow.
Okay, cool. Like I said earlier, for those who just came on the live, everybody who know me, and I'm talking about speaking with my actions, I don't do this. I don't clout chase. I never come on social media talking about anything. Even when I got stabbed in my back. Even when I got stabbed in my back by the person that I moved mountains for, fought battles, did everything, climbed, was super loyal to. I still didn't slander you. I still didn't say nothing. I just kept it moving. But you had the audacity to mention my children. So since you want to mention my children, and that I can't let ride. A lot of people like, yo, Pat, that's not you. Don't entertain it. You know what I'm saying? People see through it. She's bitter. She's miserable. Yeah.
Does she look bitter and miserable now? See, Remy got the flack early, and people believed Pap and thought, oh, he's with a younger girl, Claressa, she jealous and she mad, and that this did not age well.
That's a fact. But you mentioned my children, and that I'm not letting ride. So with that being said, you abandoned my child.
I don't know what he's talking about. Let me move along.
Everybody who know me, and I'm talking about speaking with my actions, I be able to write rhymes in my head. Everybody know I never said nothing. Embrace my child. You and 10 minutes later say, I never said that. Mind you, I didn't knock him out because he slept with my wife. Like I told y'all before. The reason I knocked him out was because he shook my hand and then slept with my wife.
Again, that don't sound cool, and it sounded like you were mad. I didn't knock him out because he slept with my wife. I knocked him out because he shook my hand, and then just say you were mad, bro. You trying to sound cool, like that was some mafioso thing to say. But again, back to my initial point, does this sound like a man who is over his wife? Does it sound like a man who's like, you keep calling him a lame, you keep saying how you knocked him out, not because of this, but because of that? Like, come on, bro.
It's a difference. But let me tell y'all this. So I bring it to her attention that I found out that she's sleeping with the lame. She tells me, him? Why him? Why him out of all people? Not Goods? Not Hitman? My word is my bond is my life. I should give my life before my word shall fail. This was her exact words. Him? Why would I deal with him? I said, Rem, I know you're dealing with the lame.
Keep calling him a lame.
I know it. First and foremost, how I first fell on my radar that she was cheating with the he was running his mouth, and it came back to me. They said, yo, Pat, this guy here telling me he's your wife. I said, word. So I did a little bit more research, connect a couple more dots.
He doing research. So, again, does this sound like a guy who's over his wife? He's doing research. He keep calling the guy that his wife is like allegedly seeing a lame, saying he put hands on him.
Finds out. She tells me this. Okay, I finds out. Mind you, it's not the first time she cheated.
Okay, now you're saying it's not the first time she cheated.
You know what I mean? I continued the marriage because I live by my wedding vow. I try to live by my wedding vows. Richer for poor, sicker for health, sickness and health. You know what I'm saying? Better for worse, and death do us part. So you try to work through things.
Rissa. Oh my gosh. Rissa. This man put this out when he's with Claressa. Because remember, Claressa talks too much. So Claressa Shields is like, oh, we had been together for 6 months when we got exposed. This video came out after Remy exposed you. So according to Claressa, you had already been exclusive for 6 months at that point. This man is still sounding salty, right? Oh, she with the lame. She taking money from the house and giving it to the lame. And he just said, I live by my word and my wedding vows, so I was trying to work it out. But Claressa Shields just did the interview and said, how am I a homewrecker? There was no happy home to break up. In the other interview, how am I a homewrecker when they weren't doing anything since 2022 because she cheated and had someone else? But this man just said, that's why in real time, Remy got the heat. Now you go back and look at it. That's why I'm playing this, because people forgot the words that were used and said. Now, Papoose just told on himself. He said, per my wedding vows, I was trying to work it out. And this isn't the first time she cheated. So you knew Remy, like, you knew she had, according to you, I don't know what happened, but I'm going to Papoose, according to you, your wife had cheated several times. He just said that. And you were still trying to work it out.
Anybody out there who's married, that's something that I never wanted to do. That's why when this took place, when she first got caught cheating with the lame, I brought it to her attention. I said, I bipolar, that she was stooped that low. That she was stooped that low because he's such a cornball. Y'all see it. Y'all say it yourself.
He's a cornball. So, again, does this sound like a man who's over his wife? You keep calling the man a cornball. Why? He was attracted to your wife. I'm not saying you should cheat with someone's wife, but why he got to be a cornball and the lame and all that? Why is so much venom towards the guy? You see what I'm saying? Your wife is the one with the pact and the vow to you. Easy to block Captain, not saying he should have got involved, but he not the one that made a vow to you.
I'm like, yo, it's no way it's this. Because I'm trying to figure it out. Like, damn.
That sound like your ego got hurt. Your ego got hurt that she moved on with someone you didn't think was worthy.
What's this? because, you know, we were living a normal, peaceful life, raising our child like we planned to, and she started to move real strange. So in the process of her moving strange, it became stranger and stranger, worse and worse. So I said, damn, I gotta see what's going on. What the hell is going on? I started to do my research. As I did my research, I found out she was cheating with the lame. So once I find out, I brings it to her attention. I said, mind you, I didn't knock him out because he slept with my wife. Like I told y'all before, the reason the therapist, see, y'all say it yourself. I'm like, yo, it's no way, it's this. It's a difference. Boy, y'all see it. And she started to move real strange. She tells me this. Okay, I find out, mind you, it's not the first time she cheated. You know what I mean? I continued the marriage because I live by my wedding vow. I try to live by my wedding vows. Richer for poor, sicker for health, sickness and health, you know what I'm saying? Better for worse, death do us part. So you try to work through things. Anybody out there who's married, y'all understand. So I found out she cheating with the lame. I bring it to her attention. Of course, we have an altercation, like basically argument back and forth or whatever transpired, right? Okay.
Or whatever transpired. Now, there have been rumors that he put hands on Remy, for the record. He said, or whatever transpired.
Okay. She decides, and I decide that we're going to go to therapy, but she brings it to my attention.
This man just said she cheated multiple times, one with Easy to Block Captain, and she decides, then he changes it and says, we decide to go to therapy.
To be honest, she said, I think we should do therapy. I said, okay. Even though I'm private and I don't like to speak to people about my personal business, that was a very, very difficult thing for me to do. But I said, you know what? Let's do the therapy. We go to the therapist. The therapist's first question is, do you guys want a divorce or do y'all want to work it out? Me and her both said we want to work it out. So,
bro, Claressa's cooked. How many different ways do I got to chop this woman up on her fight week? He just said Remy cheated multiple times. I knocked out one of the people she cheated with. Keeps referring to him as a cornball and a lame. Says, I'm a loyal guy that believes in my wedding vows in the wedding pact. So despite her cheating, we tried to work it out. She agreed. I agreed to go to therapy. Therapy is not something that comes natural to me. So I was hesitant because I don't like to talk about my problems, but we both agreed to therapy, right? This is what he just said. And he said, the therapist said, do y'all want a divorce? And y'all both said no.
but she comes on live and say, we haven't slept in the bed since 2022. And to make it seem like and fabricate a story.
Fabricate a story. So he just said she got online and said we haven't been in. Oh my gosh, bro. I really want to stop the video because I know I'm cooking. Now, again, for this cook up, if you're gaining any value, consider supporting the channel in ways that you deem is worthy of this cook up. Hit the like, hit the bell icon, subscribe, tell a friend, use my link me. Shout out to everybody for the Cash Apps, the Zelles, the PayPals, super thanks, all the donations. We will continue to do these deep dives, but these people are telling on themselves. Claressa said they have been over since 2022. This man is telling you on tape that after she cheated multiple times, they were in therapy and they both said, hey, let's try to work this out. He just told you that. So what is Claressa talking about? Oh, they have been over, and I know that for a fact, since 2022. So how am I a homewrecker? Here's how.
We had some agreement? You such a liar. There was no agreement. When I found out you was with the lame, you denied it. You on him. Basically said, yo, why would I be with him? Why do you think I would be with him? And then you wanted to go to therapy. So check it out now. Check it out. So when we go to therapy, the therapist says, do y'all want to get a divorce or do y'all want to work it out? Me and her both said we want to work it out. I'm going to be honest.
Rissa, I'm going to be honest. I have to reiterate, this live that Papoose did was when he was already with Claressa Shields. After they had already got called out, exposed, and pretty much outed. And he's telling you that even after she cheated multiple times, they both agreed to therapy and were trying to work it out. So how are you beating the Homewrecker allegations again? That's why I told you, I know too much. I done the research. So when Claressa's like, how am I a homewrecker? There was no happy home to break up. They weren't even sleeping in the bed together. They hadn't been doing nothing since 2022. He just told you that even after she was cheating, they were in therapy and both agreed not to divorce, and they're still not divorced. This came out over a year ago. They're still not divorced. We still don't know a time frame, a timetable, an end date. Claressa is slow, man.
Because honestly, I didn't want to not live under the same roof as my 5-year-old. I love all my kids the same, but when you have children, and everyone knows that about me. Everybody who know me, y'all know my character. Y'all know her character. Very rude, very disrespectful, not just to me, to everyone. But that speaks volumes. I didn't want to we planned to raise her with both parents. That was the plan. So I did not want to not live under the same roof with my little girl. I was there from the moment she came out of the womb, and I intended, and I always told her.
He's saying that like that's some extraordinary. I was there for the moment she came out the womb. It never affected her. Isn't that what a father's supposed to do? You're not special, bro. I mean, only deadbeat dads are the ones that bounce. So it's like you don't get extra credit for that.
I want to be there to the moment we take her to her prom. Till she graduates high school, college, get her degrees. I want to be there to take my daughter to her prom. And I told her that.
First of all, that don't even make sense. Why do you have to be under the same roof to take your daughter to prom? That doesn't even make sense. Like, no matter what, you're still your daughter's parent. So even if you're not with Remy, the mom, the BM, the wife, you can still take your daughter to prom. That don't even make sense, bro.
So I never wanted to leave from under the roof of my baby. That's why
See, that's probably what he told Claressa. Man, I didn't want to leave under the roof for your baby. So you like, I don't buy it anyway. So you said she cheated with men, women, multiple times, was breaking off another dude, not only like with the snappy nappy dugout, but giving him bread. And then you're just such a loyal man that you never cheated and you're going to endure that. Let her run amok, embarrass your name. You're a rapper, you know what I'm saying? You're going to let her shame your name and just be running around town? Because he literally said she can't keep her legs closed. And you're just this great. That's what I'm saying. This dude is, I don't believe him. I call it hero content. When people are trying so hard to make themselves look like infallible, knowing we're all human, we all make mistakes, we all made bad decisions, it makes me not believe you. It makes me like, did it really happen like that? Like, your rationale for You said she can't keep her legs closed. She's rude to everybody. She's bipolar. She cheating with men and women, right? She's cussing people out. She's rude to be around. All these things you're saying negative about her, but you go to therapy and you want to work it out, and then your excuse is, I want to take my daughter to prom. You can still take her to prom and have your own spot. Why do you have to be with Remy to take her to prom? You still her dad, right? So I'm not buying that. I always wanted to be under the same house because I just wanted to. Like, it sounds weird, man.
Around for this nonsense. And I don't want to go away from the point. Okay, so we did the therapy. The therapist gave us that option. We both said we want to work it out. She said, this is the plan. I'm going to give y'all a plan to work it out.
We both said we wanted to work it out.
She said, Pap, because like I told y'all previously, once I seen that she was cheating, like she was moving real strange, I'm talking about leaving for hours at a time. Every time I questioned it, it was a lie, just strange behavior. So once I noticed that she was moving strange, I started to do my research.
Notice these pauses he's doing too. He comes across as like slimy and like con artisty. You know what I mean?
Research.
Like he's just like, I got to make myself look good here, right? Like I could tell you stories about me. I'm not always the hero. You know what I mean? Sometimes I did the girl foul. I made the bad choice. I shoplifted. I did. You know what I mean? Like he like her, and that's why I believe he's a narcissist like Claressa Shields. You know, he, according to him, he father of the year, he husband of the year, he don't cheat, he didn't do nothing, he didn't have no hall pass, he didn't retaliate, he never put hands on her, he held her down in prison. He's just the amazing guy, and she just went AWOL. And like, if you know psychology of women, when you have a real good woman, like, and if you didn't have a good woman, why would you have a kid and marry her if you didn't feel she was a good woman? So I feel like there's more to the story than what he's saying. It's that simple. Because I haven't seen a woman who is a career woman. Her dude has a plentiful career. He holding her down in prison. He father of the year. He good in bed. He making it feel like when y'all first was dating, like the honeymoon stages, he doing everything right, and she just like, nope, let me go mess with this battle rapper and women and all this other stuff he talking about.
So the therapist said, because she told the therapist, mind you, she got all these lies to y'all about me. The only thing she told the therapist was, oh, he doesn't trust me. He's going to keep looking behind me and trying to, find out what I'm doing. But the only reason why I was looking behind her is because she was moving strange. So I agreed to, not show distrust or whatever. And the therapist told her, Remy, since you're saying that it's only business with this dude moving forward, but y'all have a last event coming up, after this event, you're going to cut all ties with this individual. This is what the therapist said. She said, Pap, because I told Rem back then, before I even clipped him, I said, when I catch son, I'm putting him down. I'm putting him down. He violated, you know what I'm saying? And what I noticed when I found...
So first you said, I didn't knock him out because he banged my wife. I did it because he shook my hand, and then my wife. But then now you sound mad again. You like, yeah, I told her when I catch son, I'm gonna do him bad. I'm gonna clip him because he violated. Again, Claressa's hearing this, and she's like, you know what? All this is going on. Therapy, divorce, a kid in the middle. We want to work it out. He's literally saying this on live, telling his side of the story. And Claressa heard this and said, yeah, this is something I want to be involved in. Yeah, I don't care about all this baggage. Again, I told you from the beginning, I'm going to expose character. This is your character. Any girl in their right mind with a great upbringing, right, would see all this drama at an early stage, because you got to keep in mind when it's early, you can cut your losses without going too far. Like you don't have like properties together, more time shared together. You don't have no kid. You know what I'm saying? So if you nip it in the bud, the recovery is much better. Clarissa's seen all this going on, heard all this, and said, you know what? That's my man. That's who I want to stick by. Right? He's telling you he was working it out with his wife. Come on, bro.
I noticed that every time me and her stepped out and made an appearance, he'd go post on his gram, do little sucker shit. He'd go make a post on his story about us. So I'm watching this. Mind you, y'all, I'm not saying nothing the whole time. I know this nigga sleeping with my wife, but I ain't saying nothing. Feel me? I'm like, I'm gonna be quiet. I ain't saying nothing. Son doing sucker shit on the gram. That's cool. I ain't paying that no mind. We go to therapy.
You're not paying any mind, but you noticed it.
Therapist come up with the plan. We put the plan together. The therapist said she has this event coming up at Sony Hall, which was the battle between him and Hitman. She said, you can go to the event, right? But don't knock him. Don't do nothing to this individual. She said, I said, I'm going to go to the event. I'm going to fall back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do nothing. After the event, she's supposed to leave the dude alone. Right? I go to the hold on a second, man. Give me 1 second. Matter of fact, I know what I'm going to do.
Like he had to buy time or something. Like he was trying to buy time. He's in the middle of a story and he just said, hold on real quick. Hold on real quick.
1 second. 1 second. 1 second, y'all.
I feel like he had to gather his story or something. What is he doing, bro?
Y'all. Okay, back to the subject of the matter. So I go to the event. It's the battle with him and Hitman. Everybody there. Everybody remember that event. Y'all notice I never came on the stage, right? Never came on the stage, stayed in the crowd, fell back. Watched the entire little week battle, whatever, you know what I'm saying? On his behalf, because he trash. Watch him do his...
See? Again, does it sound like he's with Claressa right now? Does it sound like he's over it? He like, yeah, he trash, little weak battle because of him. Like, he still sounds salty. And y'all was saying Remy was salty. He sounds so hurt that she stepped out with him. He literally said, I don't know how, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. She would mess with someone so corny. Bro, you don't like men, so who are you to judge like what women find appealing? You know what I mean? I get that that's your wife. That's a whole separate, but you acted like if it would have been Michael B. Jordan or something, you would have accepted it better.
Little trash battle. You know what I'm saying? So as I'm watching it, I never did nothing. When we left the battle, I went home with my daughter. She went home with the lame. Went home with the lame. Okay.
She went home with the lame. That's, oh, wow. Wow. And here's the thing. These people talk so much, they're putting dates on it. This is the battle. February 25th of 2023. Just for your own notes.
Home. She went home with the lane, stayed out all night, came home probably like the next morning. When she came home, after that, the baby is there. I ain't tripped. kept it moving, kept raising my daughter, kept it pushing. A couple days go by, things a little peaceful around the crib. I reach out to the therapist, let her know what transpired. We went to the event, everything was everything. After those couple days, me, her, and my daughter, we all sleep in the same room. We go to bed. I'm saying it's bedtime. We sleep together in the same bed every night. As we sleeping in the bed, I fall asleep. My daughter's in the middle of us. So it's 2 beds in our room now at this time because she started doing weird things around the crib or whatever. So me, her, and my daughter in the same bed. It's another bed over there. I wake up. It's just me and my daughter in the bed. So I get up. I see her in the other bed. So I go over to the other bed. And as I go to the other bed, I notice that her phone is on. When I pick up the phone, I see the lame on the phone. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, does that sound realistic? What a coincidence. Oh, I wake up and then I noticed the phone was on and it was open. And I know, like, to be honest, this is my own personal opinion. The therapist told you to chill out and like stop being distrustful. It sounded like you was looking and like you still didn't trust her or whatever.
I said, okay. She on the phone with the lane. So after that, I woke her up. Hey, what's going on? This is what you doing in here? This is what we doing? She started lying again, fabricating, this, that, and the third. Long story short, she kept cheating with the lane. Okay, move forward from that.
This man said she kept cheating with the lame. Okay, like what? What do you mean? Okay, so she's just a cheataholic, and you're just okay with that, and still living in her house, but you got your own money and your own set. Like, bro, these people are terrible.
Another battle comes up. The lane not on the card. He not on the card. It's just another event. But mind you, like I told y'all previously, I'm there for my daughter. I'm there being a father. I'm not going to allow this situation to take me away from my child. So what I did was kept raising my daughter, even though.
So again, he's painting this narrative like he's only in the house for his daughter, but you get stepped on. Your version of events, your girl just out here wilding, lying, bipolar, says she gonna stop messing with the lame, and then keep messing with him, and then creeping on the phone with him, and you're just John Q. I am not gonna bury my son. Like, you just all about your kids to the point where you're not doing nothing, and you're the victim.
I know that she's a narcissist, very contradictive, very bipolar.
Contradictive.
I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep raising my daughter. I'm not gonna let this situation to remove me from under the roof of my child. I kept raising my daughter, take my daughter to school every single day, doing everything a father's supposed to do.
That's basic stuff.
In the process of me raising my daughter, another event is coming up later on down the line. The lame is not on the card. Okay. She has the event. I'm going to the event because I go to all the events. I'm going to the event, but I'm hoping the lame ain't there. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to have to really put my hands on him.
Didn't you just say the therapist said don't have an altercation with him? Why?
Cool. I'm getting dressed. She leave. They start the event. I'm still at the crib.
And like, why are you going? Like, his story, the more you start hearing it, it sounds shaky, bro. In real time, I don't know how y'all, that's why we got to revisit it, right? I don't know how it felt in real time for y'all, because I ain't even listened to all of it in real time. But now that I am listening to it, and what I know now, it sounds shaky. If you're only doing this for your daughter, like, and like, you don't care about Remy, you're just doing it for your daughter, why are you going to Remy's battle rap? If she's like flagrantly disrespecting you, cheating with multiple people, can't keep her legs. This is what he said, right? She just won't stop cheating. Did the therapy. You guys had a action plan and she broke it. She on the phone creeping out the bed, all this stuff. And this is all about your daughter. Why are you still going to the battle raps though? What does that got to do with your daughter? Right? You're like, he's making it like, I only stayed in the house so I could be under the same roof as my daughter. If I was getting dogged out by a woman, why would I go to her battle rap events where the dude could be there? I'm already getting dogged out. And according to Claressa Shields, they had been over, right? So if they were over, then why? Okay, she said I didn't wreck no home. They had been over since 2022, but they were going to therapy after that. The man, I just showed you the date. I literally showed you the date of the battle rap. So Claressa looks dumb and Papoose looks dumb. This was the first one where he said he didn't do nothing, right? To Easy to Block. That was in February. Then he started talking about at least 2 or 3 more battles after that. So that means later in the year, right? He hasn't shared enough detail for me to know what battle rap he's talking about. But he was like, then another battle rap came and the lane wasn't on the card. Why are you going to all of these battle raps if you and Remy are over? Which is what Claressa Shields said, right? Claressa like, yeah, they hadn't been dealing with each other since 2022. So if you're only here for your daughter, right? That's why you're staying in the house. You know your wife is unfaithful and untrustworthy and creeping. Why would you be going to her battle rap events? Unless you were like looking for static, mad, jealous, and you know what I mean, that kind of thing.
I get dressed. I go to the, matter of fact, I can't even put that out there. Anyway, let me just say this. I found out the lane was there.
Withholding parts.
I said, she gotta be kidding me, man. I done told you I'm gonna put this down and you bring them to.
See, to be honest, when we hear it now, it sounds like Papoose is like almost like obsessed and can't get over the fact that she did whatever and is like looking like snooping and looking through her phone and all that type of stuff. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like he's so hurt and scorned that he's on a rampage.
The event. I've told you numerous times when I catch this, put him down. Mind you, I finds out she got an apartment 40 minutes away from our crib where she lays up with the lane, leaves and says she's going to work, leaves, say she's going to do this and do that, but she goes to the crib. I've been there. I can actually give y'all the address. So
why would we need the address and why have you been there?
she got this. She got another crib, and shout the. I don't even want to put this under the bus, man. But this another individual who was married and got a crib not too far from the home of his family. But I ain't gonna put him out there. But she did the same thing, which was weirdo shit. So anyway, I go to the event. Now I already know I'm coming there. I'm putting this down. I'm gonna be honest with you. Truthfully.
So he's saying I knew he was looking for a fight.
I really wanted to really hurt him. But I decided at the last minute, I said, you know what? I'm gonna just put my hands on this. I get to the
His cheap phone gave out or something. I don't know what happened. His
see the lane, y'all already know. Went in his mouth. Off the muscle. What happened was, he thought I came to talk. He thought I was about to talk. Ain't none of that. We don't do that. Mom! Right in his mouth off the muscle. whooped him out, dead on his feet, hit the floor like a sack of potatoes. I know, everybody telling me I shouldn't talk about this, but this nigga's a lame. Do what you gotta do. He hit the floor like a sack of potatoes. Stomped him out and all that. Bad. Hole in my knuckle, everything. But like I told you, I didn't do that because he slept with my wife. I did that because you shook my hand and then slept with my wife.
That is like the dumbest line you keep saying.
But the part I didn't tell y'all is, through this entire ordeal of her cheating with this lame, I started to notice that he had something on her. And I felt like he was blackmailing her. I always felt like he was blackmailing her. Just because the way she was moving and behaving. So I'm gonna play an audio for y'all of him basically, in his own words, admitting to blackmailing her. Listen to this.
Bro, this man got secret recordings of Easy to Block Captain. And Clarissa's seen all this go. Look how invested Papoose seems into, like he better than me. He better than me. Here's why. I am such a high value man. If a woman is cheating on me and doing me filthy, and then I find out about it, it's over. I don't care about none of that other stuff. It's over. I don't give people the opportunity to cut me and then continue to cut me and just step on me. I'm not a doormat. You see what I'm saying? This man is like, oh, we went to therapy and she had been cheating on me, cheated multiple times. She wouldn't leave him alone. She kept coming around him and doing this and that. And I'm like, at what point, I understand the kid, but what point do you have to consider yourself first? Because in the end, you don't live with Remy now. You're not with the golden child right now. So what would have been the difference between like, hey, yo, I'm filing for divorce. She treating me diabolically. Like this is diabolical, right? Also, what don't make sense for Claressa, she was like, we got to remember he filed for divorce because of me. Why didn't he file divorce? I'm showing you clear back to, he's saying in February 2023, when Hitman Holla battled Easy to Block Captain, they was messing around. And he caught her cheating, and he said it wasn't her first time. So why did it take until December of 2024, after Remy called him out and aired him out, for him to electronically file? Again, it's not making sense.
So this got sent to me because he's on the phone with schedule allows for me to come in. I had been interviewing different attorneys trying to pick the right one. I wanted to get a civilized divorce where we don't have to do none of this clown. She never wanted to do that. Just in recent time, she started to claim, when I say recent, I mean past few weeks, she started to claim that, she wanted to get the private divorce. So I said, okay, good. So when she called me the other day, tried to get back with me yesterday, and I declined because she was so mad about Claressa, so angry because I finally moved on. She see us living our life. She talking about doing something for the gram or doing it for this and that. I'm living my life. I lived over there with you. I tolerated your foolishness, your cheating, and your adultery for years and years and years for the sake of my child.
You see? So again, he didn't do nothing wrong. And he just, I don't believe him. You could tell me in the comment if you believe him, but it don't add up. She just stepped out and started cheating filthy, and you didn't do nothing. You didn't ever put hands on her. You never cheated first, and then she like, all right, it's up. Because I have seen that in relationships where you cheat, I cheat type of thing, and then people stay together and they both doing wrong. The story's not adding up. He just did it all for his daughter. He endured all. He didn't do one thing wrong. This sound like Claressa Shields, y'all. When Claressa Shields got a problem with Layla Ali, Bumgardner, Shadesha Green, Jake Paul, Boxing Ego, MVP, Alicia, whoever, right? Amanda Serrano, she never did it. Nigeria, cousin Shalita, she's never at fault. It's always everybody else's fault. That's pretty much what he's saying. That's why I believe as much as they're bad for each other, they're almost like a match made in heaven because they're the same. They're both narcissists. So Remy just started wild cheating on you, and you were a perfect father. You never put hands on her. You never put her in a predicament. You never were verbally abusive. You never crept on her. And then you are just purely victim. Oh, I did it all for my daughter. Like, what man, especially a celebrity that got bread, right? If you got bread, I'm the 1.5 million man. What man is going to endure his girl just won't stop cheating? And there's not like you're making her like she a fiend, like a junkie. She just can't stop cheating and more cheating and then further embarrassing you. And you're like, nah, I'm going to stay in the crib and allowed it. Like, for me, I wouldn't even want to see that. I'll be like, man, this girl, is she that filthy? She that promiscuous? I'm done. Like, you don't have to burn me twice. You know what I mean? So I have a hard time believing you stayed and endured that and get treated like a punching bag or a pincushion. You're not doing nothing wrong, and you just stayed there for your daughter.
Moving on along, I just played an audio to y'all of the lame admitting that he's blackmailing her. Now I'm going to play an audio of her telling me that he's blackmailing her. Basically saying,
again, look at how messy this is. And Claressa said, hey, this is a relationship I want to pursue with all this baggage.
But before I want to play the audio, I want to let y'all know that she's very angry at me because she says that if I would have never knocked him out, none of this would happen. So one of the reasons why she has so much animosity towards me is because I knocked him out. I'm letting y'all know that right now.
I don't even think she admitted that you knocked him out,
That's
bro.
one. I'm going to tell y'all the other two later. Oh, it gets worse. Hold on. You want to be funny? I could be funny too. But I'm going to be funny with the truth. You lie, you lie, and you lie. You had the audacity to come on here and make up a fake story and say, oh, my mother called me. And how L Lover said, come on, son. Come on, son. Come on, son. First and foremost, you talking about your mother called you about a YouTube video that everybody know they make fake videos on YouTube. Remy's in the hospital. PAPOOSE so much animosity towards me. One was because I knocked him out. And it wasn't because she cared about his well-being. It was because she had been, as a celebrity, as a famous person who could be a role model if she wanted to, she has been behaving in a very, should I say promiscuous? Should I say promiscuous? She has been behaving in a very not too respectful way. And it's been right under the nose of the entire industry and everybody. And people allow it because some of them are groupies. Some of them are clout chasers. Some people, they know the truth.
What is he talking about? I really don't even know what he's talking about at this point.
But they act like it's not happening. By me knocking him out, it kind of put it out there what's really going on. Also, she tried to fool y'all and say, what person would be in a marriage with a loving husband, being taken care of, bills paid, and cheat? You know what person would do that? You. Everything would be fine, and you would still violate. Because you know why? You can't keep your legs closed, Rem. That's one of the main problems with you. I could sit up here and run through your body count, but that's not what I'm going to do, because I'm not here to tear you down, and I'm not here to disrespect you.
But here's the thing. If you could run through her body count, she can't keep her leg closed, why would you marry and have a kid with someone like that? If you knew all this. Like, come on, bro.
I'm not here to do that. But the fact that you mentioned my children and you fabricated after you have already been documented and recorded telling the truth about how I supported you when you was away. Telling the truth about our entire time together. But it wasn't good enough for you to move on and be an adult after you cheated. And I gave you numerous opportunities to stop the cheating.
I gave you opportunities to stop.
We went to a therapist. Why come on here and lie and say we haven't slept together since 2022? Why come on here and make it seem like that's true? We never had an agreement. Oh, you be with who you be with and I be with. We never had an agreement.
Boom! Oh! Claressa Shields officially looks dumber and dumber. I knew we would get there because I didn't know exactly where it was at, but you just heard the man. Claressa did that interview and said, how you gonna act like I was a homewrecker? That ain't what happened. That ain't what happened. What happened? That ain't what happened. They hadn't been sleeping together. You just heard him. You heard him, man. This is what Claressa was telling you.
Ever stem to be a problem because she's publicly came out and said that she was with somebody since 2022 outside of their union. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, how do I meet somebody in 2024 who you said you ain't even been with, whatever the case may be, and then you start throwing shots at me, making it seem like I'm somebody that came and disrupted a happy household when I didn't. That's not what happened. So, you know, I think that it's a lot of, like I've said before, and
So PAPOOSE just debunked that claim. He's calling Remy a liar, saying we never had a pact. How you making it sound like we ain't had relations since 2022? That ain't true, Rem. So I don't know what version of this Claressa got, but she looks very dumb considering that PAPOOSE went on live and said this. I'm letting you hear it.
I'm very loved. Why is it that when I went to pick my daughter up, and it wasn't because she cared about his well-being, we went to a therapist. Why come on here and lie and say we haven't slept together since 2022? Why come on here and make it seem like that's true? We never had an agreement. Oh, you be with who you be with and I be with. We never had an agreement. All we had was you lying, saying that you're not with him. Why would you deal with him? That's all we had. And when I found out the truth that you were with him, you said, let's go to therapy. And I agreed. Then we made an agreement with the therapist. You violated the agreement again. So when I caught him, I knocked him out. Wherever I would have saw him at, I would have knocked him out. You so mad at me because I knocked him out at your event. Anywhere I saw him at, he was getting put down. And I told you this. I still got the messages telling you this. So all of this fabrication, all of these stories about me, my children, all of these stories about money. I paid every bill in that household. I did nothing but buy you gifts. It's photos and everything of it. It's all on my page. Never trust a celebrity who erased their Instagram. They hiding from something. It's still there. Me buying her gifts. All that materialistic. If you notice, her entire thing was about materialism. Just fab.
Now look at Claressa Shields. Oh, my Corvette. Oh, my wig. Bro, these people are fake.
She just recently told me she don't got no money.
Yeah, how's that working?
So what you talking this money talk? Hey, this is what I got in my account. Let's keep it a buck. So you want to fabricate these stories.
So again, false narrative fabrication, da-da-da-da. I can't listen to anymore. Let me skip around.
Yeah. Let's keep it real. See what I'm saying? This is what I didn't want to do, man. Because to me, this ain't what it is. I speak, I'll be ready to do the mediation, you know what I'm saying? Or for the mediator. But since she's so upset, because if you pay attention, Claressa has a fight coming up. Claressa's out here shining like the diamond she is. And she's mad. She's bitter that I moved on. So she wanted to go on social media today and fabricate. You come on the live talking about, oh, my mother went on the YouTube. And
I can't listen to anymore. So let me know your comments. But for me, Claressa looked bad, bro. She looked bad because these people had all this public, it came out publicly, and she chose to pursue and keep going on. And why I gotta feed Claressa this work is because you keep going on podcasts saying you're not a homewrecker, and you had no bearing that they weren't sleeping together. And so he just said that was a lie. He said that wasn't the truth, and that they were going through therapy and they were trying to stay together and they had worked it out. And then the dates again, the Hitman Holla fight or battle was in February 2023. I showed you videos, pictures of PAPOOSE and Remy at an Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight. That was later. That was in the summer, in July. So clearly, they were trying to work it out. Look, July 29, 2023. Fat Joe even liked it. So when Claressa's running around like, hey, how could I be a homewrecker? They had been over. That's not true. There's posts where he's calling her his beautiful wife. They were still making public appearances as a couple. He just told you they were going through therapy, trying to work it out, right? And come out the other side for the greater good or whatever. And Claressa's like, how can I be a homewrecker? I ain't do nothing wrong. And I don't trust Claressa Shields, her word. So there's other elements of it where I don't even know when you really met, if it really was at the Shakur fight. Maybe that was the first time you guys met in the flesh. But okay. And now when you start, this is just speculation, 100% my opinion. But listening to Papoos's claim that Remy was out here wild cheating with everybody and she can't keep her legs closed, right? He's trying to make himself sound good, but what man is just going to stay in the house and let his girl play him and continue to play him and then go to therapy and then break the orders from the therapist and what you guys agreed on, and he's just like such a upstanding man, he gonna just keep allowing his girl to dog him out, and he ain't trying to crack nothing or anything. So at best, there's more to the story, and y'all both was doing foul or something. It just don't add up how y'all are saying it. It don't. Oh, we didn't meet until July 6th and da-da-da-da. Claressa's timelines don't make sense. Claressa had a whole fiance. Timelines of that don't make sense. So it sounds like you have all around two different couples that were going through whatever they were going through, and people all decided to be messy, and then they integrated their mess. This side, parties on that side, started messing with party, and then it just now got messed up. Then the other part, you're saying Remy's broke and stuff. It looked like she's doing better than you, for real, for real. You know, a year later after that live. So, I don't know, man. It's not looking good, but I got to do my due diligence, pull up with the receipts. Claressa's like, why am I being labeled a homewrecker? There was no happy home to break. How would you even know that? If you met at the Shakur fight July 6th, right, and you were talking boxing, you say you didn't know he was a rapper, but you were in his wife, who was a rapper and was on a show with him, Love and Hip Hop. How do you go from that to, hey, here's some tickets to my fight? So you meet someone that you think is good looking, you had a fiance, and you just give them tickets to your fight. You don't be like, hey, do you got a girl? Ain't you Papoose from Love and Hip Hop? Don't you have a wife? You guys don't talk about that? You like, why would these people be lying, bro? I don't care what nobody says. I'm always gonna believe that. It don't make sense. So if I holler at a girl and slide in her DM and then I start popping off, before I start popping off too much, I need to see, like, are you married? Like, I need her to, like, if she hasn't said she married, I'll be like, do you got a man? You like, I need to know that. Cause you know what I mean? So why didn't you give tickets to Remy and Papoose for your fight? Say, hey, yeah, make sure you bring your girl, because these people are foul. That's why. If you met at the Shakur fight, why was he by himself without Remy? But everybody knows them as a pair. Publicly, we didn't know all this stuff was going on behind the scenes, right? And you said you didn't know he was a rapper, or you didn't even know who he was. So I don't believe you, but according to your version of events, you wouldn't have known what was going on in his marriage internally. And then you're like, oh, we talk every day. So you talk every day, and from day one, he just started telling you all his personal business in it and all the marital woes and stuff like that. He just felt that you just met him. Like, bear in mind, the public didn't know this. He's a celebrity. You're a celebrity. She's a celebrity. And it hadn't been reported that all this stuff was going on, right? All this cheating and breakups and all, none of it was really reported. So why would you trust a stranger initially with your business, knowing what if they leak it to a magazine and be like, oh, Pap and Remy are headed for divorce? Why would you just freely? So I don't trust these people. I definitely don't believe it played out how you played out. I think the timelines just don't support that at all. Like, so I just meet a girl, like I go to a grocery store, meet a girl, and then start telling her all my marital problems in the next day. And then Claressa was like, yeah, we started off as friends, and then it went to best friends, and then the lovers. How did you have time to do any of that? You had Tony Rich, and he was claiming you. You were wearing a wedding ring, an engagement ring from Tony Rich when you pulled up to the Shakur fight. You probably forgot about that, right? So you're in the picture with Papoose. Where was Tony Rich? Did he go to the fight? But either way, you had the engagement ring, and he went to your fight, and Papoose went to your fight, right? And then Papoose on here doing these crying stories like, oh, I was just a good guy, and it was all Remy, and she promiscuous, and I just don't believe it, man. I don't. That if you're a detective or a cop and somebody told you a story like this and it got holes you're like, hey, this don't add up. You said 2022, then you said 2023 right here. I checked and validated the date. It didn't happen in 2021 when you said, okay, this right here don't make sense. You said a homewrecker, but then you said he wasn't sleeping with her, and then I found out he's saying that she lied and they were. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's all types of screwy. All types of screwy. And Claressa Shields decided, yo, let me abandon my fiance, who I've been on and off with and engaged to multiple times, to jump in this unresolved marriage, easy to block Captain Remy, Pap triangle, and whatever else Papoose was doing. And that would be great for my career. These people, they're a match made in heaven. They deserve each other. We